I'm a member of several metal detecting groups on Facebook, and you see new members, and you get the question, hey, can anybody give me a place where to dig? I've never seen that question answered, but you know what? I'm going to partially answer this for new metal detectorists, and then we're going to go scouting, and we're going to apply what I'm going to teach you. Rule number one, and perhaps the most important thing that I'm going to teach you today, there is a priceless website called Historic Aerials. And you can essentially go back in time with maps. Let's take a look. So, historicaerials.com is the website. And it's a little bit difficult to navigate. It's got ads all over the place, which keeps it free, which I don't mind at all, because you know what? This is priceless information. You go to Viewer, and you click on Viewer. And basically, you can. I'm in Freeport, okay? Oh, Freeport, New York. There's a bunch of Freeports. Jeez. Come on, come on, come on. Here is where you can mess around with the site. So there's aerials, there's topographical maps, atlases. I usually stick to the first two. So let's do this. I'm going to press compare. And I'm going to click overlays. Nope, I'm not going to click overlays. I'm going to go back to compare. I'm going to click on the flashlight. Geez, Merrill. So over here, you see the compare. I'm going to go aerials, and we're going to go 1966. That's the earliest that Freeport has. Boom. And look at what you can do. Aerials, you can compare 2017, and you could use the flashlight to essentially see what a space looked like. Oh, this is interesting here. So let's zoom in right here. This is a place I would not dig. So look at this. Look at this little swath of land in 2017. Oh, wow. Right over here. See that green triangle? It's not really a triangle. Right in here. So 2017, it is empty. But look at this. Let's zoom in a little bit more. There were buildings here. And when a building is raised, from my experience, it just destroys the dirt. It makes it very, very difficult. And it recovers eventually over time and movement. Okay, let's think of the mechanics of a building here. Nowadays, if you're making a building, even if you're not going to have a basement area to it, you're still going to dig down into the ground, and you're going to basically put pipes in and electricity. A lot of that goes below the ground. So that immediate, the feet immediately below the building, the depth, it gets altered. And the problem that we will have and will discuss later in this video is altered dirt. The other problem, when they raise or knock down a building, is it gets smushed in with the soil and mixed in. You find a lot of bricks. You find a lot of building parts. This changes the ground forever. And anything that was dropped there prior to that, good luck finding it. It might have been pulled up and moved to another spot. We see this all the time when we're detecting fields, and there were places that were knocked down, but we're talking about big buildings here. Maybe there's a little bit of space over in here where you could detect, but over here, I would essentially avoid that. What I like to look for are places that look the same. Let's see if we could find one. I've personally dug out Freeport. Here we go. So look up here. So we have a baseball field that was I still see the lines for the baseball field. It's not as defined, but this was land that was open in the 1960s. And let's go further back. The aerial photography is limited to 1966, but let's go topographical maps. Oh wow, this goes back to 1898. And this tells me that this railway line, or, there was a road here. So there was people coming into and out of the area. What you are looking for is the possibility of volume of people. That's number one. And number two, that the land seems barely altered. We don't like altered dirt. And you could zoom in and zoom out and look at this. Where this water is, different location. So this is all land filled in. This is where the water was. And I find this to be highly accurate. And if you see places that have buildings, like over in here, and you see space by them, those are good places to dig. And roads, it doesn't even have to be buildings, but roads, and you look at the topography, if there's water coming through and there's no more water coming through, you want to avoid it, because that means that was filled in. And I'll tell you this, it's really deceptive. The south shore of Long Island, wait till you see this. Yeah, look at this. Down here, okay, here's where the land ended in the 1800s, late 1800s. Here is current Freeport, and we get tons of flooding down in this area, and you wonder why. Well, that's why. So, historic aerials, it is priceless. You're never going to get told on one of those forums, yeah, this is where you dig, come dig the treasure. Nobody's going to tell you that. You have to do the research for yourself, and you have to use logic. Look for fields, parks that looked the same, current day versus years ago. You'll do well, but there's a second part to this. We are going scouting. Scouting is important because you gotta find new, tree roots. Good sign. There are people, God-forsaken people, who love these perfectly manicured lawns rather, perfectly manicured lawns, that the grass has to be so thick that you can't even see the dirt. We hate that. We absolutely hate that. We, meaning metal detectorists. When you see a tree root, you know that the area, at least for a while, has not been sodded over. We get in areas that there are flooding, there's new ways that basically increase the drainage. It involves putting rocks and sometimes pipes that drain the water out if it's really bad. But very often the first line of defense is to fill the land with dirt and rocks, because it doesn't clump up. Think of your drain, okay? It's, little things can go through down your drain and clog it up, and the other stuff gets caught into the strainer that you have, the whatever the heck it's called. The rocks improve the drainage, and I mean, if you're right by a river and you see these rounded rocks, maybe that's natural. If you're in the middle of a field nowhere near water and you see these round pebbles that are like river stones, you know that is filler dirt. Gotta find new places that could potentially be loaded with good stuff. And I'm liking the look of this dirt. I'm seeing moss, I'm seeing grass,
Means it hasn't been touched in a while.
I think we have a bunch of metal detectorists looking away in horror right now. Look at this. You see this grass in here. You see how thick it is. Isn't it gorgeous? It was raised to be like this. It was blasphemy of science. Designed is the wrong word. It was grown in isolation from other forms of vegetation. That's a better way to put it. Gregor Mendel was a communist. Communist! Not really, but. So you don't start to see those weeds in there. It's not mixed with anything else. Mosses, um, weeds. Metal detectorists, we love seeing that for the reason that it's been given time, whether it be through the wind, whether it be through birds who like eat the seeds and then poop them and then they grow somewhere. We support the natural processes. Let the birds eat and poop. You know, time hasn't been taken for that to happen. If you see something like this godforsaken swath of land, it means that the turf grown in isolation was laid over your field. What does that do to a detector coil and the treasures below it? It creates a spacer. We don't like that. On top of that, coins sink, so you do the math.
Whereas if you have turf, you know, that's something that is new, and older grass that hasn't been touched for a while, it just looks different. That's what I'm seeing here. Could be a lot of filler underneath, but let's see.
So just to be clear, because I keep interrupting my own narration, what you just saw, I liked what I just saw. You saw the mixture of different foliage right there. Is foliage the word? Let's go.
Note to self, next time that you go scouting and it's 40 something degrees, wear pants. Let me turn on my iron. That's what I was looking for. Let's dig. Hello, Abe. Is this a weed or a memorial? Oh, well, it's a penny.
Now here is where the coins and where they are situated can give you some guidance. The deep layer will give you an idea about the field, about the park, about the space. This is not true on a beach, by the way. Beach stuff gets moved and recycled. I have a beach tutorial. You should watch that one too. This one is more geared towards dirt.
You see, scouting trips, they don't have to be long. You want to see what the deep signals give you. Aha! A layer of fill dirt and yunk. So there's some deep rocks here. These rocks are added for drainage. Let's move around. 1970s money penny at about 4 or 5 inches down. Well, there we go. A little bit deeper. We are on the wheat. Mysteriously, this is dry. The dirt is wet. I guess it got in a cluster that, what the hell? That's weird.
When you are at a new spot, look for consistency with the dates and depths of coins. I love wheat cents, and if you watch this channel, you see me find a lot of them. I use them as clues because you know what? For every year that there were wheat cents, that was silver era. 1964 and back for dimes and quarters was silver era. But here's the thing. Until Bitcoin comes in and changes everything, even in present day 2021, you can still get wheat cents in your change. If you're lucky, you could still get silver in your change, although it's a lot less frequent. What I'm looking for is a consistently low layer that has older coins. If I start digging deep and I'm finding dimes, quarters from the 2000s, Zinkins, pennies after 1982. 1982 to present day, they are filled with zinc. We love to call them Zinkins. So if you see those deep, you're probably digging in the wrong spot. You're digging in altered dirt. Metal detecting is all about research and inference.
Money penny. Yeah, we got filler junk down here too. You see that jagged edge? Yeah, that's a big iron piece.
I was probably wrong about that. When you're talking about big iron pieces, that sure can come off of farm equipment. And if you're talking about a site like Long Island, it was all farms at one point.
I've hit a few of those big iron pieces. That's localized enough. Let's give this a try. Demi, and we're in some filler dirt.
This day I had many other options. I don't want to totally turn you off to filler dirt though. In a very recent video, in what I think is some clear filler dirt, I found a 1746 real. Remember, the dirt, if you're going to dig it up and store it and have a company that makes the filler dirt that drains better, the dirt has to go somewhere. And if they don't screen that dirt, you get the stuff from older spots. So even if you're in filler dirt, although it's less likely from my experience, you can still hit bonanza.
Here's my take. This is fill, obviously, but it was done years ago. We're talking maybe 1980s. There are deeper signals here. There is convergence in the types of vegetation. And for the most part, I've been able to make plugs. A lot of you are rough on me with the plugs that I make. It's because I'm doing it fill, okay? And that just separates. So you can tell the age of the dirt also from the quality of the plugs.
There is a feel to old dirt. I like to push down with my digging tool and not feel rocks, but feel solid ground. A lot of times the dirt has not been compacted by years and years of rain and people using the field that it's upon. So if you have plugs that kind of fall apart, that's a sign that it could be altered dirt. Now I'm going to pick on you about your pancakes, and actually my pancakes too. You know what? When you mix pancakes and you cook pancakes, guess what? On each pancake, even if you're OCD about mixing it like crazy, it's still not going to be perfectly mixed. I've noticed that in the consistency of I'm a pancake chef, man. I've noticed that. Merrill, where are you going with this? Well, when ground gets altered, it doesn't mean that it gets altered consistently. Think about it. There's hills, there's peaks, there's lower areas. And even if an area is filled, if you're desperate, you should still check it. The reason being that there could be areas of thinner fill and there could be good stuff. If you have a sod or fill piercing metal detector, in other words, one that goes really deep.
Yep, this is Phil. Let's move on. Alright, was walking back to my car. That's an isolated signal. So let's try over here before we totally abandon this. Yep, here we go. On the weed again, and able to make a plug. Generally, you get filler dirt in areas where there's flooding. So we're at the higher ground now. Let's dig. Zinking, but I was off a little bit where I dug. Third wheat, same depth. There is filler dirt here, but let's keep going. I have a feeling. What in the world? I mean, it's old aluminum. Taylor. This was long before Taylor Swift was born. Quarter and penny. This was a good 12 inches down. It's filler junk though. Let's move on. Oh, come on, Wheat Sense. Stop confusing me like this. This is not fair.
This field is an excellent case study. It was confusing to me. I was getting those deep wheat scents, but I was also but they were clustered in certain areas. That's the thing, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But there was also a good amount of objects that were newer, that were lower, and stuff that was added to the dirt that really probably was not a result of littering.
I'm in this section where there's a lot of moss and a lot of roots exposed. All right, walk away, Merrill.
Overall, I would rate that field as a B minus. I chose to leave it because I had recently struck pay dirt in a nearby field. So we went to the field where I hit pay dirt.
We are back to the new Magic Park. Maybe we'll call it Miracle Park. Yeah, Miracle Park. So let's detect. 18, 19, 20 and deep. Now that's a button. Ooh. Oh, we're in the right spot. Go, go, go.
All right, here is a close-up of the button. Maker's mark on the back there. Not too much detail, I have to clean it some more. Nice flat button. So we're talking standard deviations here. I call these things deep sea creatures. If you see something that is generations, more than a standard deviation ago, coming up from the dirt, you hit that dirt hard. One last order of business before we move on. Jello has been unlocked.
Jello has been unlocked. Deep signal. Just a snap. Oh, I like it. 25, 26, 27. Yes, sir, we are on the board. Undisturbed has been unlocked. Mercury Dime, 1936. There we go. Got a mint mark, no mint mark. Excellent.
Here's the silver that I keep pulling up. 1936, we will take it. No mint mark. Let's go to the spreadsheet. All right, we are rolling. That is silver coin number 65 and silver piece number 94 for the year.
Jeez. North of 30, I would say. Get localized. OMG. Was just a quarter. And you hear that? I've noise canceled a million times, getting a lot of interference. My phone is off. Zinkin.
To me, even if you get a zinkin on a field that you're getting old buttons, old objects, silver, you keep digging, even if that zinkin is deep. All fields have been altered in one way or another. Think of when they do piping. Think of when they run electrical lines, which could explain the EMI that just happened. So if you find something good, you keep going. But that's just logic right there.
Listen to this one. That's a gorgeous signal. Man, Equinox, you are something else. Tiny and relatively deep. 1819. Yerk. Let's dig. Very choppy. Enough to keep me interested. Yeah, that sounds good. Uh-oh. Oh, bother. Deep weedy. Yerk. I've seen these before. It's got a square nail hole through it. These are old. 18, 19. $17, $18. I'm hoping Indian head penny. Keep hoping. Bouncy all over the place. Going deep. Look at this old bullet. Wow. All right, smart people, help me out with how old this is. Wow. Here's another take a chance signal. Oh shoot. Gold, I doubt. When I saw it, I hoped, but look, you could rub that color off. What is this? Interesting. It's a quarter. 15, 16. Camp lead.
Okay, I don't claim to be an expert on camp lead by any means, but what you just saw is a sign of age in a field. It was a good teachable moment. This is a question that asked, I watched a few YouTube videos of people with metal detectors looking for relics on Civil War sites. They often found clumps of lead they called camp lead, and basically saying that it's melted lead, and what's the use for it? Maybe spilled from the pot and just left. It was certainly centrally organized. Basically, the guy's saying if they were making their own ammunition, you'd find more of it. Long story short, here's what you need to know about it in the Merrill definition. You see camp lead, you keep digging. You're welcome.
Here we go. Another flat button, old one. There we go. All right, keep going. Scratchy and deep. Uh-oh. Bullet cartridge. 1920 and deep. Ooh, I think we got part of a skeleton key. Right? I don't know.
When you're talking about patinas on metal, that is like the outward luster or shine, appearance. The patina gets altered when it's in the ground for a long period of time. We're very familiar with the stuff that are on the shelves of stores that we visit. But you can see when something is, again, standard deviations back from that. And I look for patinas. I might not know what the item is, but I can tell from the patina if it's been in the ground for a long time. That last object, that was the case.
Well, what is this? Oh, well. Surface quarter. Uh-oh. Good chance of it being silver. Or even something old. Nah. Oh. What the heck is this? Crucifix? That's weird. This is about as amazing a signal as you can get. Jeez. Oh man. Nah. 1920. Good chance right here. Yes, sir. Number 2 of the day.
Haagen-Dazs has been unlocked.
Merc. $19.24.
Here's a close-up of the Merc, 1924. Oh, we have a mint mark. D, it looks like. Denver? How about that? All right, that is number 66 for the year for coins, and number 95 for pieces of silver.
Money penny. We are on the wheat. Looks like we're gonna get a good imprint. Oh, look at that. Reverse Abe. Oh, that's nice. That's in good condition. 1951. Okay. Oh, snap. I think I got Old Bullet. I've never seen one of these with a top like this. Wow. That's amazing. Amazing signal. On the wheat once again. Good shot at number 3 here. Troublesome and deep wheat scent. This is the door to a GoPro in the 1800s. Ooh, look at this. Probably for something to do with horses. That's a good signal. Good chance for silver right there. Oh man, deep memorial. Officially calling it on this one. The deepest signal I ever pulled. Look at that. Well, maybe. Close to it. We got another flat button. This was super deep. Is this another boulet? You see, if I get 3 pieces of silver, that's 1% towards my goal. That's why I'm going for 3. And there it is. Oh no, no, it's not. Oh, bummer. All right, 3's not in the cards, but you know what? That was a good day. Let's count it up. All right, I'm already on the next hunt, by the way, so let's dump this out so that I have a bag. Boom shakalaka. Should have done this last night. Look at these pennies trying to get away from me. Oh, nerve. Okay. I barely showed you the yunk in this video, but there was a lot of yunk. All right, we got 2 marks, 3 buttons, and I think the highlight has to be, I don't even know if this is a bullet. It has to be these 2. I've never found bullets like this before. Yeah, those could be pretty old. Got a bunch of wheat cents, maybe about $2 and change. Here's the extra pennies. Yep, so that's a wrap.
I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I ask that you share it. These tips have really helped me over the years. One last thing, food for thought. If you need a good shirt that's comfortable, 100% cotton, check this one out. This is like brand new to the website. We didn't even mention it. It has been selling like crazy. I survived coronavirus metal detecting. And it's got the NYC logo. So anyway, those are available. You go down to the links section of this video, right in the about section, and it says merch, and it'll take you to my website, iratemetaldetectors.com. So anywho, I hope this video helped you. These are the strategies that I use on dirt. It's totally different when we are talking about the beach, where you could find something dropped this year a foot or 2 down, because the sand moves, man, and the objects move with it. So anywho, I hope that this helped. Share this video. Helps my channel grow. Like, subscribe, everything. Thank you.